Growing up, some of our fondest Halloween memories came from trick-or-treating. Our friends and us would quickly figure out which houses gave the best sweets, learn to navigate the neighborhood at night, and were able to socialize with our neighbors in ways usually reserved only for our parents. These important experiences helped teach us independence and responsibility, all while being fun for the whole family. But as we grew older, things changed. Trick-or-treating used to be only at night, but then it started to get pushed to dusk, then to late afternoon. Even after we grew out of trick-or-treating, we noticed fewer and fewer kids would come to our door. And then we learned why. Parents were scared. Some of their fears were unjustified, the typical boogeyman tales of razor blades or poison candy invented or spun out of proportion in the local gossip mills and on social media. But the fear, which was very real and justified, was speeding down the street. Halloween is the single deadliest day of the year for child-involved car crashes, with rates spiking by 300 to 1,000%. It's all fun and games to dress your child up as a ghost. It's quite another for them to become one. In part, as a result of this very real danger, more and more parents are opting to ditch neighborhood trick-or-treating entirely in favor of trunk-or-treating. People gather in parking lots with decorated car trunks and pass out candy to kids. This trades the spontaneity and charm of the Halloween nights we grew up with for a clinical and boring afternoon in a parking lot. It also tends to exclude elderly people who can't leave their homes or anyone who doesn't have a parent to drive them to the trunk-or-treat lot, all while making children more sedentary. And worst of all, this does nothing to actually address the causes of the danger. They are still out there, lurking, rushing towards our children every day. So why is this single day so dangerous? Logically, some people say that there are more children out and about on Halloween, so of course, when crashes occur, children will be more represented in the victims. However, this both treats crashes as inevitable and is disguising a dark truth. The two leading causes of child death in the United States are gun violence and car crashes. The logic of overrepresentation on Halloween ignores just how dangerous the streets are for children the other 364 days of the year. Others will argue that the time of day and the dark costumes many kids wear make it harder to spot the ghouls until it's too late. This is part of why trick-or-treating kept getting pushed to earlier times of the day. However, given that child car crash deaths on Halloween are still high with the sun out or not, this doesn't feel like the full story. And that's because it isn't. The elephant in the room, which no one wants to talk about, is that our communities are designed for vehicle use and speed, not for safety nor pedestrian use. There are many design elements which contribute to the dangerous and undesirable walking conditions of our communities, but there are 4 big ones to address here, especially in the suburbs. Local streets are made overly wide to allow cars to move quickly down them. The blocks which these streets make up are also extremely long, with fewer breaks at cross streets to increase speeds. This, however, means that there are fewer designated crossings and makes it less desirable to walk to places. This is also very dangerous on Halloween, as children are often crisscrossing the street mid-block to reach houses. Homes are set back far from the curb and are extremely spread out, which not only makes people feel comfortable speeding, but it further discourages walking because you need to travel further on foot. Cul-de-sacs create many dead ends, which isolate streets from one another. In order for a person to get from this house to the other, unless people are okay with you cutting through their backyard, you'd need to walk all the way around, making a journey of a couple hundred feet in a couple of minutes into a 30-minute walk of over a mile. Together, These design choices make trick-or-treating, just existing outside of a car, perilous in many places, especially when paired with cars, which feature ever more distractions and keep getting bigger and bigger. We can't accept trunk-or-treating as a band-aid solution to these dangers. Not only does it rob children of fun experiences and denies them important development and growth opportunities, it also keeps our kids in danger the rest of the year. Halloween may be the most dangerous day for children, but it's not like they aren't also in danger every day when they are walking down the street. So, what can we do? Focusing on Halloween, neighborhoods could close themselves off to non-emergency vehicular traffic between 5 and 9 p.m., the times when most trick-or-treating occurs, or at least limit it to local-only traffic. A few hours of detouring inconvenience one night a year seems like a fair price for the safety of our children. Focusing more broadly and long-term, there are physical changes which need to be made. Local streets should be treated as places not just for the movement of vehicles, but the movement and gathering of people. Children used to play in the street with their friends. Adults used to gather and chat as they went out to walk places or just go for a stroll. We need to return to that kind of safe street. We need to install speed bumps, raised mid-block crosswalks, and other traffic calming elements to slow traffic on local streets and increase pedestrian mobility and safety. Cul-de-sacs and overly long blocks should have footpaths installed to create a more human-scale grid which allows people to walk to their neighbors instead of driving everywhere. Zoning and land use codes should be rewritten to allow homes to be built closer to the curb and with less space between them, creating space for more families and a gentle bit of density. These are just a few changes needed, but they would not only make our children safer year-round, they might also increase their candy hauls. Halloween is the most dangerous day of the year for children, but it doesn't have to be if we are willing to make our streets safer. We can make it that a ghoulish costume is an object of fun, not a frightening portent of what's to come.